Hi everyone, I'm Kim Chamberlain, the Canal Town Stitcher, and welcome to my channel. I'm so happy that you have stopped in and joined me today for an update video. It's been a little bit since I filmed. The last time I filmed was in April, and a lot of things have happened since then, and so I'll go into all of that. But I wanted to give you an update on my stitching and how things have been going. So welcome if you're new. Thank you to all of my returning subscribers and guests, anybody else that's returning that cares to watch. I am thrilled because I've had some new subscribers since my last video, so welcome. Everyone is welcome here. And this is a channel primarily about cross stitch, but I do crochet and quilt some. I do make a lot of my own project bags, so sometimes you'll see some of those things on here as well, but for the most part I just cross stitch. We're coming into a busy season. Summer is busy. I don't film as much over the summer. I usually do a whip parade sometime in August-ish. I've done it in July before, but I'll be in New York in July, so you won't see it until probably August when I get back. But I've been working and stitching and getting some things done. I have Whip Go updates and oh, that's a project that I'm missing. I'll go look for that in a minute. Anyways, I have updates on Whip Go, and I have the new Whip Go projects that are called for June, and we'll go over plans, and I do have a finish. But I can give you a little update on like a little life update first. So April, I guess, was a very busy month for us. My daughter was in her play at school. They did Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, and she was in it, so it was very busy. And then my husband's mother became ill. She had already been ill. She'd been battling cancer since last year, and unfortunately she lost her battle with cancer on May 10th. So we had a busy month of trying to plan. My husband is an only child, so we had to plan her services, and we're doing a big picnic in New York over the summer for all of her friends and family, and so it was just kind of a lot. And then for Mother's Day, obviously that happened right before Mother's Day, so we tried to honor her as well as celebrate Mother's Day with the kids. So that was a pretty tough time, but now we're kind of like on the other side of that. We're obviously still dealing with the grief of the loss, but we're kind of in that time where everything's pretty much settled, and now we're kind of getting into the June activities, which when you have children, things don't stop. And so we have a graduation for my son Ryan, who graduated this year back in January, but we're going to have his graduation party in New York next month. And then Grace and all of her accolades and celebrations as she ends her sophomore year of high school. And then obviously Adam is ending his 7th grade year at middle school, and so he's, we've got all the award ceremonies, and we've got all the things. And then I teach 4th grade, so we are right now in the middle of our end of year testing and getting everything situated for the summer, but things should start slowing down in another week or two. So yes, there's our life update. I do have a finish, so I'll show that first. Kind of getting back into the right, like the way, well, not the right way, but the way that I've always done it. Kind of had, kind of was off a little bit in the last couple videos, but I'm getting back there. Oh, and I got a haircut. So I hope that the haircut isn't like it's way shorter than I asked for, so I'm still trying to get used to it. I asked her to cut it to like here, like it was like here, and I was like, oh, can we just take it up to like here, like my collar? As you can see, it's quite a bit different. So we're getting used to it. We're getting used to it. It'll be fine. It's just a matter of getting used to it, I guess. That's the best way to put it. All right, so I've been working on this since I think September of 2023. This is for my son Adam. I decided to turn this into a pillow. I think that will be really cool for his bed. And so this is the Mario sampler. Oops, get it so that it's all in the frame here. Complete. This was by Choco Coco Stitch. I used all the called for DMCs. This is on a piece of 14 count silver Aida that I got at Hobby Lobby. So I think this came out so cute. And I'm going to turn it into a pillow, and I think he's going to love it. So this, I was excited to finish this. This was a lot of fun to stitch, and actually this did not take very long to stitch at all. This was a very beginner-friendly pattern. I got it on Etsy. So if you're looking for something that's beginner-friendly and you like old gaming systems like Nintendo, then you would like this pattern. So it came out great. I'm really excited about it. All right, next up are the Whipco calls that we had for April, which I went over in my April video and I didn't work on since then. And then the Whipco calls for May were numbers, I can't remember what the numbers were, but I do have the project. So one was Stitching with the Housewives. And then the other one was my Hello Dear, which is the one that I'm thinking, I don't know where that is at the moment. I don't move my cross stitches very far, so, oh, I do know where it is now. It's on the piano. I'll have to go get it in a second, but we'll start with this one. So this is the Stitching with the Housewives project that I have that I started in 2021. This is now one of my oldest whips. It's a 2021 start. And this is December, trucking along. I gotta get the camera right. Here I was like giving myself all these accolades. Let me take it out of the plastic so you can actually like see it. I was like, oh, I'm getting myself together. I am not getting myself together. Oh goodness. There it is. This is the only trucking along that I am currently doing. And I'm doing it as one piece, not two. On a piece of, this was actually my very first piece of 32 count charcoal Belfast linen. I am using the called for colors. Some of the called for Classic Color Works and some of the called for DMCs. Not all of the called for Classic Color Works. My dog is in here. He's making himself at home. He's very comfortable right now. Sprawled out on the floor. I actually have two dogs. One is under the bed. He's hiding a little bit. I'm not sure why. I don't think he feels good. And then the other one is, ooh, that was the needle right there. A public service announcement for taking your needles out of your projects, which I never do. All right, let me, sorry. Just trying to get this so that it looks nice. I didn't have time to iron, so I apologize. If you like ironing, I apologize. I iron everything when it's done. So I'm not the channel to watch if you like everything to be crisp and clean. All right, so here it is. Here's my progress. I have gotten a lot done on this. Let me tell you that the gingham on the trees is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It's absolutely beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it is tricky. So, I'll get a little closer so you can see it. But it's coming along. This is going with me to New York, so this will be a, like a focus project for me. So, I am hoping to get this done by Christmas so that it can be fully finished and taken out of my whips. 2021 whip. In a project bag that I made myself. I get most of this, I think all this material that I used for this was like summertime material that I got at Walmart a couple years ago. Okay. I made all these project bags in 2022. I haven't made any, oh, that's not true. I made one project bag in the fall. It didn't come out that good. It was the first time in a while that I had used my sewing machine, so I'm trying to give myself a little grace. All right, the other one I have to go get, so I'll be right back. Okay, a little winded, but back. All right, the other call was Hello Dear. And it has been a while since I've seen somebody else stitching this. Let's see here. I don't have a cover photo. Let me pull it up right here. So, this is by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and I stitched Hello Pumpkin, and so this is what Hello Dear will look like. Oh my goodness, let me touch things. So that is what it's going to look like when it's done. I ordered this directly from Caterpillar Cross Stitch in the UK, and I got it PDF. And I've done that with Modern Folk Embroidery as well. I didn't put many stitches in on this, but I did in some. It is still on the hoop. I do want to work on. This is an easy stitch. This is going on a piece of 28 count vintage smoky white cashel linen, because it's going to match the other one, which is also on 28 count. And that is my progress so far. Not a whole lot. This was one of the projects that went with me to the hospital when I was visiting my mother-in-law. So far, I've just started on the bird. These are super fun to stitch too, because like every time you finish a motif, you feel like you finished something. So it's a lot of fun. So that was the second call for me in May. And then the third call, because May had 3 numbers drawn, because 13 was drawn in May, which is the center on WIPGO. And that was International Santas, which is another project that I started in 2021 that I would love to see out of my WIP pile. This was a May 2021 start. This came out of the 2000 Better Homes and Gardens Keepsakes calendar. Do not have a good cover photo for this. I've shown it many times in the 3 years that I've been on Flosstube, but I did a lot on this, so I'm really proud of my progress, and I'm on the home stretch with this one, guys. All right, so there's 5 Santas in this. And I wish there was a way that I could pull it up. I wonder if I could just, I've tried to Google it before, but maybe it's on here in some kind of world of miracles. International Santas cross. Let's see here. Wouldn't it be wonderful if it just showed up? I promise not to take too much time looking for it, but it would be so nice to have a picture that I could show you. Oh, there's some nice old pictures in here, but none of them of this one. Sorry, guys. I promised you I wasn't going to take too long to look, and I'm going to keep my word. So there's 5 Santas, and I have 3 done, and the only thing that I haven't done is any of the backstitch on them, and I'm contemplating not doing a whole lot of backstitch. Back in, like, this was a 2000, but back in the, I think in the like 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, there was a lot of backstitching, and now there isn't as much backstitching, which I like backstitching for the detail that it shows, but like, I think for some things, sometimes the backstitching is just, it takes me too long. So I do it, excuse me, on all the parts that I think are really important. So there are some parts that are definitely going to need the back stitch, and when I get to that part, those parts, I'll show it to you. But here is my progress so far. So I finished this Santa. He was only partially done, like he was like half done. I finished him and his basket and all that, and then I started in on the bottom. So these are actually in the language that they are, the Santa names. And then, so then the next Santa in the line is actually the American Santa. So just regular Santa. And then the last one is Father Christmas. I think he is, I don't know. I don't want to say it wrong. I have a lot of international viewers. If you call your Santa Father Christmas, could you let me know what country you're from? Anyways, I love this. It's going to be beautiful, and I can't wait to finish it for the holidays. This is on a piece of 28 count. Mushroom or platinum. I can't remember. It's 28 count. That's might be Whisper. I don't know. It's 28 count. One of those neutral colors. I know you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, she said she had it together. For where I am in life, I think I do. For where I am in life, I definitely do. Okay. And the designer is never on these. I don't know. Back then, I guess they didn't care who the designers were by. This was the December 2000 keepsakes calendar. My mother-in-law used to get me one every year for my birthday until I was about 22. So I got like 4 Okay, so WIPGO for June. 2 calls. One is for my truck snow globe. Wah wah. This is going to be a restart for me. Shannon Christine Designs. I've talked about this before. This was a UFO I put back on my list because I really do love it. There's beads in this, and I do have all the beads. I've never beaded before. I honestly have to tell you that I am a little intimidated by beading, but I definitely want to learn how to do it because I have Snow Queen from Mirabilia on my mind, and I really would like to purchase that in the next year or so and start that, and there's a lot of beading on that, so I know I need to get to that. But this is going to be a restart. I'll show you where I am. This right now is on a piece of 25 count vintage Stormy Night Lugana, and I have just made, this was back, well, let me give you some context of this. I'll show it to you. So this was back when I first started cross stitching again. And I bought this and I had no idea that it was going to be so tricky. Now, I've used Kreinik before. I have stitched a 3 Wiseman pattern from the Just Cross Stitch, or not Just Cross Stitch, from the Better Homes and Gardens keepsake calendar with Kreinik. And so I'm used to that. That's not the issue. I made so many mistakes on this that when I try to count out and try to find stitches, I can't like figure out where things are. I decided to UFO this one and restart it. So I'm going to get a brand new piece of fabric and I'm going to restart this. And I feel like I'm in a better place cross stitching wise. Like I'm a little more advanced, that I'm ready for some of the challenges that this is going to bring me. So this is going with me to New York when I leave at the end of the month, and I will restart it there. And then the other one is another Stitching with the Housewives. So Stitching with the Housewives got pulled twice, which is good because I'll take December trucking along with me to New York. And then I have a whole bunch of other ones that I can start. Like I bought a whole bunch of their designs that I can start at some points, you know, down the road. All right, so now onto my whips. I have been working on pretty much the same few whips besides WIPGO and that finish since we saw each other last. So let's see here. And I have a new start since we saw each other last. Let me show that. Sorry guys, I don't mean to bend over like that. Not that you can really tell, but. All right, so this is For the Love of Cross Stitch, January 1992. I got a whole bunch of these from my mother-in-law a few years ago. This is one of the ones that I kept. So this is what I'm stitching. This is called Nothing. Nicholas and Snow Owl, it's called. This one, it's going to be very Harry Potter vibes. I know some people don't love Harry Potter anymore, and I understand why. But I still love this, so I'm stitching it. All right, so I started this last weekend, Saturday, Memorial Day weekend, the 25th of May. This is going on a piece of 32 count blue azure, Lugana, even weave. whatever you want to call it. It's in the hoop because I'm working on it. Well, it's just flickered. There it is. So I am working on the owl. I did change the color to B5200 from white, but everything else is going to be in the called for DMC. The dog wants to desperately get on a chair that has stuff on it. And he is afraid to jump on anything. Eddie, come here. Come here. You can come over here. Here. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on, Eddie. Come on. Baby, come on. Here he comes. Come on. Come on. Okay. Here's Eddie. Isn't he so sweet? Oh, yes. He's a Westie. And he is very, very attached to his people. He loves his people. Don't you, babies? Yes. I'm going to put him on the bed because he won't jump on it himself. All right. There he goes. Okay. Okay, so back to this guy. It's going to be beautiful, and I'm really excited about this one. I've been wanting to start this for a long time. I've had this kitted since before Christmas, and it was supposed to be on my 12 by 12 starts on New Year's Eve, and I didn't get to it. So I was excited to start this. It needs a project bag. I know it doesn't have one. All right, next up, I've been working on this one a lot too. This was one of my 12 by 12 starts. Summer at the Shore. This is by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is now the 4th pattern that I am stitching from this designer. I really like them. I find these to be just enough challenge, but not so much challenge that they're not like, that they're hard for me. This is my 3rd bird pattern by them. So, because the pattern that I stitched, the robin pattern for Signs of Spring that I finished last time, in the last video, was also one of their designs. I've also stitched Peace on Earth, and I'm stitching, what is it? A Time for All Seasons, number 1. I can't remember. It's the January one with the snowman. I'm stitching that one too. This is going on a piece of I know it's 32 count. I know it might be, it's Lugana mushroom, I think. And there it is. I can't see that, but you can. So it's really pretty. It's going to be beautiful when it's done. So I have gotten all of this done, all of this, since the last time we saw each other. And you have to be really awake and paying attention to this part. Let me see if I can get it closer. There you go. See that quilting in there? You have to be awake for that. It looks beautiful. But I had to do a lot of frogging because I wasn't paying attention. But that is Summer at the Shore. So as you can see, like, it's not as many projects as I've worked on in the past, but I'm getting good progress on the projects that I am working on. next up is A Honey of a Tiny Town by Hands on Design. Oh no, Heart and Hand, sorry. Not Hands on Design, this is Heart and Hand. They have all these tiny towns. I have the seaside one too. But this is going on my mantle because my mantle is a bee theme. Here, let me turn it so that you can see what it's going to look like. It's going to look like that. It's very cute. I'm stitching this with some of the called for colors and some of the called for DMCs. Really what I did is that, if you're new to my channel, you may not know this because you might not have seen my my videos from before, but I am a big proponent of stitching with DMCs and not necessarily using overdyed threads. Now, the reason why is because sometimes the variegation is really good and sometimes it's not. And so what I do is I compare. I look at the DMCs and the variegated floss. And if I can't really see a difference in the variegation, I'll just go straight to the DMC. If it's got a beautiful variegation, I will go ahead and buy the variegated floss. So that's why with the Stitching with the Housewives December Trucking Along, some of them are the classic colorworks that are called for, and some of them are the called for DMCs. And I do that for all of my projects. Like, I didn't mention it before, but this one, I'm stitching this with all the called for DMCs. This calls for Gentle Arts and DMCs. And then some of them call for silks, and silks are $5 a skein at most places. And if you need 2 or 3 skeins, you're spending $15 on just one color. So it's very rare for me. I know they're beautiful. I've stitched with silk before because I stitched Quaker Snowflakes by Hello from Liz Matthews, and I did that in silks. But that only called for 3 silks, and I only needed 2 skeins of one color. So I was able to stitch that for not that much money. But if you're talking about a carriage house designs, one of the Hawkrun Hollows, and they call for silks, before you're even stitching, you're spending a lot of money, and they are stunning. Do not get me wrong. I am not at all, if you have it and you want to stitch with it, you go right on ahead. I'm so happy for you because they are absolutely beautiful. But I know my budget can't afford that. And so I still want to be able to stitch those things, and I don't want to have to worry about, the cost. If I can't afford to do it, will I do it? I will still do it. I will just do it with the DMCs. So I'm totally fine with that. All right, so this one, I have worked on a little bit in the last week. So I have made some progress from the last video. I, again, apologize. It's in the hoop. I'm working on it, and I apologize for this being wrinkly. I know it's a trigger for some people, but I just want to be able to show it. So I did this whole piece right here, finished this bird up there, and I started on the next house. So this is cute. It's on a piece of no-name fabric because I got it from Angel Wings in Southport, and it's not labeled, but it is 32 count, and I have enough to do both the Honey of a Tiny Town and the Seaside Town too. So I have plenty of fabric to do both, and I think I'm gonna have a good amount left over because I have a good amount over here. So yes, beautiful. Very happy with this one. It's coming out cute. It's gonna go on my mantle. And I do plan to finish it very similar to the way that it's finished on here, like on a flat board, like that. So that is my plan. Okay. Most Wonderful Feast of the Year was pulled for WIPGO. I don't know when. Was that a June number? I'm not sure. I can see it in that bag over there. That's why I know. I haven't worked on it, but that's another one of those projects that's like, it kind of sits in timeout because it's really annoying to me. All right, that is all of my current whips. Let's talk about plans. So I'm going to do a video probably next week of all the pieces that I'm going to take to New York, and I'll do like a little whip parade. And I am not going to film while I'm in New York, so you won't see me again after that video until August-ish, somewhere in there, because I will be at camp, and I do not film there. Although, yeah, I probably won't film there. I was like, maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe there'll be a little surprise for y'all. But I typically don't... Wait a minute. Oh, that's why. I typically don't film when I'm there because it's hectic there. There's not a lot of space. There's a whole bunch of us in a very small sleeping quarters. I just don't typically have the room. So, I probably won't film there. Put this in the wrong bag. All right. So, I will film a video in the next week or two. We're not leaving for a few weeks. With all the projects that I'm going to take with me to New York, and then we'll do a before and an after. I think that sounds like fun. In the meantime, I do want to start a Stitch With Me series for this one. This is another Cottage Garden sampling. Surprise, surprise. This is A Year in the Woods, number 1, The Fox. This is the only one of this series that I plan to stitch. Lots and lots of us are stitching this because it's stunning. I'm going to stitch mine on a piece of whatever this is, fabric that I got from Hobby House Needleworks when they used to do scrap fabrics. I don't know that they still do. I haven't seen them there in my travels recently, but that doesn't mean they don't have them. I just maybe didn't look hard enough. It's 32 count. I know that for sure. Might be Alchemy by Picture This Plus. So that's what I'm going to stitch this on. And I'm using all the called for DMCs this time. It calls for Gentle Arts and DMCs. So, and I changed the color. Chalk I am doing in 3865, which is the called for DMC, I guess. That's what I'm gonna do. I'd really like to start a Stitch With Me series with this one. I've gotten away from my Stitch With Me videos because I really have been busy, and it is hard to film those. But I do think I can do Stitch With Me videos while I'm in New York. So those videos will definitely be on. Those are fun too. So yeah, that's really it. That's all I have for you tonight. I really hope that you're enjoying everything that you're stitching on. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate you all for coming and for spending some time with me. I really appreciate all of the patience that you guys have had. This is year number 3 for me, and you know, it's been a slow journey for me, but that's okay. I have been totally fine with that. I still love to produce the videos and to show what I'm doing. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know. If you have any suggestions for me, please let me know. I'm always up for listening to suggestions and, doing the best that I can to reach you. I hope I've inspired you. I hope that I've given you a little bit of joy this week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.